My name is George Welmer, the founder of Tupelo. Tupelo works with business owners, business brokers, and business buyers. Today, we're going to be talking about lead sourcing, specifically how to find out who owns a company and their contact information. By the end of this video, you'll be able to figure out the contact information of any business owner out there. Let's get started. We're inside of Clay right now, which is a marketing enrichment tool. I scraped these companies' websites to pull in some basic information. We're going to use Clay to find out who owns the businesses and their contact information. We'll do this by enrichment. Before we go any further, I want to give a quick shout out to my company, Tupelo, which you can do lead gen inside of, and it's a heck of a lot easier than this 9-minute video I'm about to go over inside of Clay. Inside Tupelo, you can do lead gen in just 10 seconds. Here's how. I'm inside Tupelo. You'll hit find new leads. You'll type in the location, type in the industry, any keywords you want to find, and then hit submit. And then leads will start populating into your CRM. So how you do that is you go to add company and you add enrichment. I'm going to go to one of my favorites, find contacts of companies, identifier, which is the website. So of the information we have here, what specific column are we going to use to identify what the business is, that specific business? Job seniority levels, click owner, job key titles, owner, founder, CEO, and then I'm going to choose from locations, I'm going to put Michigan, because all of the companies that I scraped together were Michigan manufacturing companies. Scroll down, continue to add fields. We're going to be looking for first name, last name, and LinkedIn URL. I'll hit save and run on the 10 rows. So we're using Clay and we're using these third-party tools out there to figure out who owns the business. What we're doing is we're doing a waterfall approach. So we'll check one tool to find out who owns the business. Once we exhaust that one tool, we'll go to another tool. We'll try to figure out, fill in the gaps. So here we have 8 different companies that we didn't find who owns the business. So we'll use another tool to try to figure out who owns those businesses, then another, and so forth, until we've exhausted the list. So we would add another column, add enrichment. I'm going to use Apollo, job titles, owner, domain again, company domain, locations, I'm going to specify Michigan, and then I only want to run, I'm going to use AI here, I only want to run on rows where I haven't already found the owner's information. So only run on rows where empty. Generate formula. So I'll write the formula, and you can see here that some of these rows we're not going to run on. Yes, output's correct. Continue to add fields, people, first name, last name, LinkedIn URL, save and run. Okay, so now we're using a third tool, Apollo, to try to figure out who owns that business. While it's running, I'm going to use another tool, because again, we're trying to create this exhausted list of who owns the businesses, and we're using a bunch of different tools. And we're only at 3 for 7 right now. Favorites, Clay agent. So now we're using AI to scrape the websites to see who owns the business. So I created my prompt for the agent. Now I'll use AI to enhance my prompt. This takes a second or two. I'm going to accept prompt. And I'm going to hit, we got to use AI again here to be only run if first name and are blank. Perfect. Save. Run on the 10 rows. So again, this is the waterfall approach. We checked tool 1, found 2, check tool 3, we found 1, and now we're using a 4th tool to see who owns the business and trying to retrieve their information. After we figure out who owns the business, then we'll have the address of the company, the URL of the business, the name of the business owner, first name, last name, their LinkedIn if they have one, and then after we have that information, we'll be able to use it to figure out their contact information. So the responses are coming in, which is great. All right, perfect. So then we got hit rates for all the business owners. So what I'll do next is I'll merge these columns, but I'm going to rename them so it's easier to merge. So I'm going to rename this. Okay, perfect. So then I'll merge the data. So input. So we're going to do first name, save. So it's merging all the data, so we just have one true first name. I'm going to rename this to name, and I'll do the same thing, merge with last name as well as for their LinkedIn. I'm also going to do one more thing where I merge the first and the last name. So we have all that data in one cell. Here we go. And then we're going to rename this to full name. So recapping everything again, based on this information here, the name of the business, the website, and the address, we did a waterfall approach to figure out who owns that business. We were leveraging a bunch of different data sources out there. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we merged that data. So we had the first name of the individual, the last name, their LinkedIn URL, and then their full name. Now, with all of this information, we'll do another waterfall approach to figure out their contact information. To do this, you would add a column, add enrichment, and we're going to be using 2 different tools. The first one we're going to use is Prospeo, and this is going to help us figure out the contact's email, what is the full name it's asking for, so full name, company website. We're going to do email, perfect. Run on the first 10 rows. Now Prospeo, Clay is working with Prospeo now to figure out what the email is for this individual. We're doing another waterfall, so whatever Prospeo doesn't find, we'll use another tool to fill in that gaps. So we can actually do that here while it's thinking. We have pretty good hit rate here, so 80%, but we'll do one more. We're going to use findy mail, work emails, full name, company website, and we only want it to run on the columns that we did not find, or on the rows that we did not find. Looks like the generated formula works. Add fields, emails, run on the first 10 rows. So again, it's only going to run on the rows that we didn't find any information on. Okay, perfect, and it found it. And we can merge this data if we want, and then I'll export it. So at the end, we would have the name of the business, the address of the business, the address, the business owner's name, first name, last name, their LinkedIn if they have it, as well as their email address. And voila! Using this method, you can find out who owns any business as well as their contact information. Clay with Prospeo, Find Email, Apollo, and using AI is really a powerful tech stack to enhance your lead generation.